Hello everyone and welcome to another casual review. Today, I'm talking about Mega Man 3. So if you've been following along with the previous Mega Man games, you can kind of assume the plot here. Dr. Wily has apologized for his actions and now he is back to working with Dr. Light when, things start going awry and Dr. Wily steals the robot that Dr. Light and Dr. Wily were working on called Gamma. So who could have seen that coming? Way to ruin the rehabilitation program for the rest of us. So now it is Mega Man's job to stop all of the evil robots that he has built and stop Gamma. This game introduces two new main characters, the first being Rush, everyone's favorite robot dog that Dr. Light creates to help aid Mega Man. These kind of act like the items in Mega Man 2. There is Rush Coil that springs you upwards. Think similar to like the springs in a Sonic game. There is Rush Marine or Submarine or something like that, which lets you control Rush underwater freeform. And then there's Rush Jet, which basically does what Rush Marine does, only up in the air. It also introduces Breakman, who then is revealed to be Proto Man, who is then revealed to be the very first robot that Dr. Light ever built. He kind of acts like a anti-hero, and in a select few levels, you do have to encounter him, and once you get his pattern down, he's pretty easy to fight off, but he just kind of spars with you. I don't think his intentions are malicious. He's just more like testing Mega Man, if you will. The biggest mechanic introduced in this game is that you can slide, which I absolutely love. It makes for a more fluid motion in terms of Mega Man games, at least compared to the first two games. And I do actually prefer how Mega Man performs in this game. Like, I do actually prefer how Mega Man moves in this game more than the first two. He feels a lot more stable and less slippery than the first two games. And he can climb ladders faster, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but in Mega Man games, you will be climbing a lot of ladders, so this is always a welcome addition. When you are selecting your different abilities, I'm not sure if this was in Mega Man 2 or not, I can't quite remember, but there is an actual picture of the ability rather than just trying to memorize the corresponding letter to the ability. So just for example, in the first game, if you have like a fire ability, then it will be represented by an F. Well, in this game, you could see the fire ability, but there's also an icon of a flame. So it's a lot easier and quicker to select what kind of ability you want to do. Now, granted, it is still quite tedious having to pause the game, scroll through your ability list, find the right ability you want to use, and then select it. But it is at least a little faster because you can select it based off of the pictures. Because of this and some of the actual ability functionality, I found myself using the abilities a lot more often compared to the first two Mega Man games. I tended to just stick with the pea shooters, and then I would find the super effective ability against the Robot Master that was strong against them. But in this game, I just found myself using some of these abilities on more of the basic enemies while I was playing through the level. My favorite one in this game would probably be Magnet Man's ability, just simply because it tracks the enemy, so you can shoot it directly forward, and then if the enemy is above it or below it, it will automatically change directions and hit it. So super convenient. Unfortunately, the ammo depletes quite quickly in this one. Another shout out for this game in terms of abilities would probably be the Shadow Blade. It's basically like an ability that lets you fire it in all 8 directions. So that's nice against like the bosses who have like an uneven floor, so then you can shoot it at an angle. However, the distance for this ability leaves something to be desired in my opinion. I do like the idea of the top spin ability. This basically makes Mega Man spin around and do damage all around him. However, I found it to be really hit or miss whether I would get damaged or not, and most of the time I found myself taking more damage trying to utilize this ability than the enemy would take by me trying to hit them with this ability. I definitely think it should have made Mega Man invincible for a short amount of time when you are spinning. Maybe it does that and I just can't get the timing quite right. Now, this game adds another feature where after you beat all 8 of the Robot Masters, normally you would head straight to Dr. Wily's fortress, but it makes you replay 4 select levels and face off of all 8 Robot Masters from Mega Man 2. So you can, if you're feeling a little nostalgic about Mega Man 2, you can fight off against these guys, kind of. It's like you'll see their image of the Robot Master, and then it'll go into a generic robot boss that will fight like the boss from Mega Man 2. So it's like you're not really fighting against the Robot Master, but you are. I mean, the idea of this is okay, but I didn't like playing through essentially a remixed version of a level that I already played, much less 4 of them. So it just kind of felt like it was trying to pad out the game's length, because these games are pretty short, but I'd rather have a short game than replay through remix levels of levels that I've already played through, if that makes any sense. The bosses for Mega Man 2 aren't the only boss to make a reoccurrence here. We also have the Yellow Devil from Mega Man 1, and I didn't talk about this in my Mega Man 1 review, but the Yellow Devil is kind of notorious as far as like Mega Man bosses go, and you might be familiar with him if you've ever played the Mega Man stage on Super Smash Bros. Because he makes an appearance there, but essentially like parts of him are flying from one side of the room to the other, and you have to avoid all of these parts while he reforms. So then you only have a brief period to hurry and hit his eye before he starts reforming back to the other side of the room. So kind of a frustrating boss, but also it is actually kind of fun because it really tests your reflexes trying to dodge these little pieces of his body. Visually, I think this has reached a level of detail that I would associate with something like Shovel Knight, which is basically an homage to games like Mega Man. It's not quite to that level of Shovel Knight, but there is still a lot more going on in terms of like the background and the tiles. Like sometimes you'll be going across like an electricity level, and there'll be electricity panels going all over the place. It's actually much more exciting to look at, and we've already made some progress compared to Mega Man 1, that's for sure. As far as music goes, I still held the belief that this series has some of the best soundtracks when it comes to video games and chiptunes in general. As far as this game, my favorite soundtrack would probably be Magnet Man's level, but I do enjoy the title screen song as well. Overall, I think that I might like Mega Man 2 better than this game. However, the implementation of the slide is really fun. I just didn't like having to replay through levels that I've already done. I still think that I will give this game a 3 out of 5, the same as Mega Man 2. Definitely they are both better than Mega Man 1. Well guys, that's it for me. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about Mega Man 3 or the Mega Man series in general, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Bye!